Today we're going to talk about 5 steps you can take to get the best deal on a brand new car. If you're new to the channel, my name is Blake. This is Y2K, where we love cars from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. However, let's be honest, most of these cars aren't as reliable as new cars, so it's always good to have one new car in your Y2K stable. So let's get into step number 1. Go on AutoTrader, which is my favorite research database for pricing on new cars. You can also check out Autotempest. I see that a lot of YouTubers are sponsored by them. I've tried to use it a couple times, but I prefer AutoTrader for new cars. So I go on AutoTrader and I do a search distance of 300 to 500 miles. Some of you might be comfortable with less, some of you might be comfortable with more. You can do the whole country, but you have to keep in mind shipping costs. I try to do something that's drivable. So that's the first thing I do. And if you'll notice when you do this, AutoTrader likes to make you automatically sort by relevance once you put in all your vehicle criteria. Why they do it by relevance, I don't know, because I already put in the car I want, so they would all be relevant, right? So take the top bar where it has all the different categories on the filters and sort it from price of low to high. And that will give you a sorted list from the very cheapest car all the way down to the most expensive car that's not even marked down off MSRP. The MSRP you'll see on when you click on one of these cars on one side, and then you'll see the discount on the other side and the price you're paying. So you want to start with obviously the people that are the most negotiable, have the biggest inventories, and can offer the biggest discount. So that is step number 1. One thing I forgot to mention in step number 1 is that if you want to try and buy the car locally, you can always do that and see if they'll match the price from the dealership that's farther away. Sometimes that doesn't work out because it's a smaller dealership, therefore they sell less cars and don't get as many rebates and incentives sometimes from the manufacturers, but it's worth a shot. And now back to the video. A small side note on step 1 is that some colors of vehicles are priced higher than others. I think it's just because something like black or white is more common and they have more of that inventory than like a blue, or just depends on whatever kind of specialty colors they could have. Maybe not even a specialty color, but just a color that's not as common. And I will cross shop the color I want versus that color and make the dealer match that price on step number 1 when we're doing the best price. Step number 2, ladies and gentlemen, you found the car you really want, you've been dreaming about it, it's the one, and you've found it at a really great price already on AutoTrader. You want to go ahead and in that inquiry box say, what is your best price on this car? And sometimes they will surprise you. If they come back and say, hey, this is already the best price, you could still try and negotiate it down a little bit more, which I do, maybe 500 or 1,000 bucks more at that point, and even try and get a better deal. But that's what I do for step number 2, is really try and get that price all the way down. And then if I did have a trade-in, I would bring that trade-in into the equation at that point once I've got a great purchase price on the car and get them to make me an offer on that sight unseen. Of course, some will tell you they can't do it, but they can and they will. And just say, hey, if I get here and the car's not the shape you think it is, then we can talk about it again. But if you know in your mind it's a great car, then you shouldn't have any worries. And I always base my trade-in value off AutoTrader retail and mark some of it down, or I go on KBB and see what the trade-in value would be there. That's probably the best way to do it, unless you have like a car that's just like a niche market, like a manual E60 M5 or something like that, where it's gonna be worth more because of it's a different drivetrain or etc. But anyway, so that's when you want to bring that trade-in in and discuss that. Keep in mind the tax savings, especially here in Florida. If I have a $60,000 car and I trade in on another $60,000 car, odds are I'm not going to be paying any sales tax, so that's saving me about 6.5% in my county. So that's a really big savings of over $3,000. So keep that in mind, that you're really getting a lot more when you get the tax savings involved. Step number 3, you've got your purchase price set up, you got your trade-in price set up. Now it's time to get a deal sheet, and a deal sheet is going to show you what you're paying for the car, the trade-in, and all of the fees, the BS fees that dealers like to charge, such as the dock fee, for example. All the tag and registration, that's pretty much straightforward. That's set by the state you're going to be registering the car in. But the dock fee is a big one. And then the other thing you're going to want to negotiate most likely is the interest rate, because even if you have a great credit score, they'll try and mark that rate up. So if they try and mess with you on the rate, obviously you want to shop credit unions and PenFed, stuff like that is a great example. See what their rate's going to be, and then if it's higher than that, compare against that and say, hey, I can get a better rate here at this credit union. Why would I use your bank? You can also threaten to pay cash, which works. I've not tried it. I've done it a couple times, and that works as well. And I've even got like a point off of the loan, so then you get your payment down even lower. So what you want to do is just try your best, obviously, to get that rate down, but also to get that dealer fee. Try and get it waived all the way if you can. It's kind of tough when you're getting such a great deal on a car because they got to make money somewhere, but try and get them to split it with you or something. But at first, just ask them to waive it and then take it from there and see if you can get any kind of money off of that doc fee. Step number 4 is something some people probably don't think about. If you're going to get a car delivered in, right, like shipped to your door because you can't find it here locally, or you don't have a trade and you don't feel like flying up there, is negotiate the shipping of the car. You can negotiate anything on a car deal, even the shipping. So I recommend you at least try to get them to split it or get free delivery. With what's going on right now, you can actually get free delivery because everyone is trying to social distance, as they should. So that, for step 4, is something to keep in mind, is negotiate the shipping or freight of the car. A lot of times they have retired people they pay just to drive these cars to you. So do whatever you can to get that taken care of as well if you aren't able to go get the car physically. A side note on the shipping negotiation. A lot of dealers will actually ship the car down to you and then take your trade back. So if you do get a great price on the shipping or get it for free, just know that you really don't have to go there. They will bring their car to you and then your car can go back. Number 5, and this is a very key thing to getting the best deal on a car, is if you go through steps 1 through 4 I've just listed and the prices just aren't there, you've done everything you can, wait till the end of the month usually, and you will get a bigger discount, most likely because the end of the month is when they're trying to reach their sales quotas. Much like we joke about police officers pulling more people over at the end of the month so they can hit their quota. Dealers really do have quotas at the end of the month that they have to meet, and that is something to keep in mind, is the power of patience. Now, if we talk about this right now during this unfortunate pandemic, patience is even more important, because while the big 3 are offering 0% for 84 months and deferred payments for 6 months or 4 months or 3 months or whatever it is right now that I've seen, it's important to know that they are doing that in lieu of all these crazy rebates and dealer incentives they're doing right now. So keep in mind, if you do take that 0% offer, the odds are you're going to end up paying more for that. The goal is to get the best rate and the best deal. So just keep that in mind when you're doing all this. In my opinion right now, the longer you wait up to a certain point, you're gonna get a better deal. Right now what you're seeing is just the surface of the offers and incentives all the big 3, and even other, I'm sure, foreign manufacturers, stuff like that, are gonna start offering, because as things start to slow down, they're gonna have to lower the prices and offer even more aggressive rates and rebates and even combine them together. So just keep that in mind. If you're somebody who's been saving up and you're not affected economically by what's going on, or you have a business that's actually booming right now, like say the mortgage industry, or you're a real estate appraiser or something like that, you're actually busier than you've ever been, most likely. So just keep that in mind. You have the income and you're looking to move into an upgraded vehicle, or even if you're trying to downsize because you may have unfortunately lost your job or you're on unemployment right now, the power of patience is extremely important. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today on Y2K. These have been my top 5 steps to get a new car for a great deal. If you want to go see, I have another video I made called the top 5 things you should never ever say to a car dealer, and that's very important to combine together with these other 5 steps here on how to get the best deal. So watch that, I'll link it up above. In the meantime, have a great day and we'll see you on the next upload.